back. Today's question is, do mood and environment matter in labor?
This is Kaely Daily, the bi-weekly podcast about all things doula tips and tits, where we answer one question about pregnancy, labor, postpartum, or lactation in order to have your journey in this parenting world be just a little bit more informed and filled with consent.
Hello there, I'm Kaely Harrod, and today we're diving into, do mood and environment matter in labor? Now, you're probably not surprised that I'm just going to say yes and then keep going because I shouldn't really ever have yes or no questions because I'm always going to expand on them some. Before I really dive into this, I want you to know that I am super excited that we have a bunch of podcast guests coming over the next couple months. And I am really pumped to kind of sprinkle those in to this first season of Kaely Daily, Doula Tips and Tits. And it's a wide variety of folks. So that is going to be really exciting. So stay tuned for that. If you are not already subscribed, go ahead and do that. I would really love if you left a review. That's a way for people to find this podcast. It's super helpful to me, and I think to others as they find this and get helpful information from it. And I also have a brand new oxytocin guide. So it's 6 things you need to know about oxytocin to prepare for birth. So it's a super simple oxytocin guide. It'll guide you through like what to prepare, what to think about, what to do in advance of birth, to be ready to have that oxytocin nice and high. Now, if you don't know what oxytocin is, I do have an episode all about that. And so I will post that in the show notes. I was just making a note for myself. But that goes in right into today's topic, because today's topic is about mood and environment in labor, and that has everything to do with oxytocin. Okay, so in a take a minute to just close your eyes and imagine you're going in for a pedicure. Okay, imagine you're going in for a pedicure and you walk in and the like chairs are like kind of old and don't have massage things. Maybe this is just me as a side note, but I half go to a pedicure to get my nails done and half to get a massage in the massage chair. I mean, I'm like, why am I coming to you to get a pedicure if you don't have a massage chair? Like, that's at least half of why I'm coming, right? Which makes me feel like I need to go. I don't have them very frequently, but also, especially in COVID, I have not had them very frequently. But I occasionally will take my daughter and she really loves it. And so that's putting me in the mood for that. Anyway, I'm sidetracking myself. So imagine that you go in and the seats are kind of like ripped and they don't have massagers. And the salon smells kind of like sour or like stale, like kind of just old and not very clean maybe. Or maybe even not dirty, but just like off, right? And it doesn't have any music, and the nail polish is like just like all tossed on a table. Okay. So in that scenario, like that layout that I just set out for you, I would probably be like, I'm not sure, like maybe I don't need a pedicure today, right? Like I would probably leave that place. And it's not because the people giving pedicures aren't amazing at it, because maybe they are, right? It's not even because it's not clean. Like maybe it is super clean, right? But it's the environment. It's the like first look at things, first smell of things, the first things I hear, like all of that gives me a good summary of how I feel about that. And then I either like feel really great about coming or not, right? So on the flip side, imagine that you walk in to get your pedicure and there's like a lovely smell and that like covers the smell of the nail polish, right? and there's like beautiful, wonderful massage chairs, and the nail polish looks like a dream wall of color, right? And there's like soothing lights and soothing colors and soothing art. Then you probably walk in, at least for me, I can imagine walking in and being like, oh, I'm so glad I came, right? Like this was a good decision to come here because it feels relaxing, it feels lovely, right? So um that matter, like the mood that is set matters in things that we do all the time. But in birth, it's even more important, in my opinion, because um you need oxytocin for contractions, right? Also because you can get through labor without that, but you want labor to be as lovely as possible. Now, what does that mood or environment need to look like? That is where you get to make things up, right? The difference between birth and any other scenario is that we need you to love it. Like you, the person who's going to be in labor, you need to have high oxytocin. So you need to love whatever it is, right? Whether it's the music or the scent or the like ambiance, the lighting, if there's candles or like twinkle lights, or if there's like cozy stuff, or if you want it to be like, the windows are open and you can feel the breeze, like whatever it is, it has to be oxytocin inducing for you. Okay. So it's not quite the same as like if you go to a pedicure place, they're not thinking like, oh, Kaely's going to come today and she really loves the scent of orange. So we're going to put that scent. No, they're doing things like lavender, vanilla, like things that basically everyone considers relaxing, right? Now, obviously, not everyone likes those. Those are not relaxing to everyone. I know people that hate the scent of lavender, for instance. It smells very like soapy and not relaxing, right? To some people. So then they are not someone who should use lavender in their birth setting, right? Um, and so part of it is really honing in on like what would your dream birth environment look like, and also what is practical and what are you able to do in terms of environment, right? I mean, I think on the one hand, I've seen some like birth centers and things that I'm like, oh man, what a dreamy birth room, right? Like just like the tools, the way that it's set up, like the different things that you have to use around the room, like it's just beautiful and comforting and lovely. And you could bring in your own music and you can bring in your own whatever, right? Whatever to make it kind of your own space. However, that is not always the case, right? So part of it is looking at like, what is your birth environment? Is it your house? Then where in your house do you love to be? Like where can you kind of set up as like your labor space, right? Or maybe a couple different spaces. And how do you want them? Do you like the lights dim? Do you want the blinds open and like the natural light coming in? I mean, there's so many different ways to do this. There's not just a way to create your birth environment, right? Um, if you're going to a hospital, what's easy to take with you? Or if you're going to a birth center, right? What's easy to take with you that feels doable to you in terms of setup and all of that, right? Maybe that's different than a home birth, because at home you can work on setting up your environment for a while, which is part of, I think, what's amazing about home birth is that you're in your space and you can actually make it this like awesome labor space and work on that for a while before you go into labor, right? So you can be really prepared to make it this awesome, beautiful space um, that you can't really do when you're like entering into a space just for the second part of labor, just for the end of labor or something like that. So I do recommend that you go grab that oxytocin guide. I will put the link in the show notes. Also, I will link to the oxytocin episode. Um, and then I would love, love, love for you to come and connect with me on Instagram. At Harrod Doula is my name over there. And I would love to hear from you what your questions are for the podcast. You already know this lovely little podcast answers one question a week about fertility, pregnancy, labor, postpartum, and lactation. We've been really heavy on postpartum and birth, so we especially need some lactation and fertility questions, but we do have some guests coming up for both of those things. So I'm really pumped to share some of that with you. And so please do send me a question, whatever question you have, and I would be happy to answer it on one of the podcast episodes. And just let me know what you're loving about this. Like, that's not only super encouraging, of course, to me, but it's also really helpful to know what parts of this are most helpful and what things are maybe not as helpful, right? Because I want this to be a lovely guiding thing for you. It's not for me, right? It's for you. So I really want to hear what you think about it and how it's been helpful to you. So that's all for today. I will see you again soon. And in the meantime, I hope that you have wonderfully educated, consent-filled births and postpartums. All right, bye.
Edited and produced by Kaely, Harrod, as I'm sure you can probably tell. And our amazing music is credited in the show notes as well. So we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, have wonderful and consent-filled births.